What still creeps the frick out of you? Dark water. And the dark. Vast void of space. Anything could be lurking in the dark. Looking out a window at nighttime. When the lights are on inside and you can't see who might be looking in. Tight caves. Locked in syndrome. Stuff is 100% nightmare fuel. Basically your brain is pretty much intact, but your brainstem is ducked, meaning everything but your eyes are paralyzed, and you're fully aware. Going into my kitchen at night after my kid told me about the tall girl with no face who likes to be in the kitchen. Duck no. Open water, being in water and not being able to see the bottom, even if it's only like a foot more down. Can't do it. The thought of someone looking in my window, just standing there, face uncovered, looking in as though they were casually watching a show. When I was 4 we moved to a new house and I kept telling my parents about the man that would come at night and watch me. They would ask me questions, but I guess my answers were vague, so they just attributed it to my imagination. After a month or two they started to get worried, and one night my dad stayed awake outside my door and heard someone walk up to the window. He ran him down and called the cops. Turns out he was the son of the elderly neighbors down the street. He was mentally handicapped and would sneak out and walk around the neighborhood when he got bored. It's weird because my parents said I was never scared of him, or at least I never spoke about him in a way that seemed like I felt threatened. House centipedes. I work in it at a hospital. The thing that freaks me out is the dummy they train on. Full adult sized. It bleeds. It sweats and it cries, which I can handle, but its damn eyes freak me out. Home invasions. My grandpa was beaten to death during a home invasion robbery. I lived with people who refused to lock their doors when they left their home because they believed karma protected their home, when they damn well knew what happened to my grandpa. Sleep paralysis. The whole concept of the movie The Strangers and the movie itself. The thought of being basically hunted and killed, and the only reason being you were home. Worst nightmare. Botflies. I hate parasites. That tiny but existent possibility of ending like a homeless person. I mean, things can just go astray. I'm 36, but the closet and restroom doors in my bedroom need to be closed. Opposite here, need to keep them open so the monsters can't hide. Rabies is super scary, and cancer because it's your own body betraying you, and it's so common and it almost seems inevitable. Cockroaches. Yeah, I know those times in cartoons in which a character goes into somewhere dark and we can only see their eyes, and then we see even more eyes. Just replace those cartoon eyes with real human eyes. Feeling of being watched when I'm alone. Hanging my feet or arms over the bed when I sleep, and the dark. When I'm taking a dump and my peen touches the bowl, or the dump won't flush down. I find it creepy how we subconsciously are our own worst enemies. Someone's looking at me. Well, they must be thinking the worst about me. I made a mistake. Well, let me think about it repeatedly for the rest of my life to relive my shame. I'm sleep deprived. Well, now I'm seeing stuff move in my peripherals. Or I'm hearing something. Is my house haunted? E.T.C. Just the amount of damage we can do to ourselves just by not maintaining ourselves. It's amazing how easy it is for the body to just start shutting down, causing issues. Ticks. Probably the worst creatures ever. The females can even reproduce without males. Nothing is worse than ticks. That a dark empire like Jeffrey Epstein's was able to exist for so long. Unto shade. And both its discovery and publicity came and went faster in media than a celebrity breakup, and now nobody cares. The fact that 97% of the true human history is lost to this day. mannequins, statues, human-like robots, etc. I'm okay when shopping for clothes, because the mannequins are usually blank, human-shaped frames. However, when it comes to the wax figures you might see in museums, my anxiety gets turned up to 100, especially if they are animatronic. I'll straight up refuse to enter the same room as the thing if it moves. The video where the dog opens the bathroom door from the inside while standing up. I hate how you can put your face all the way against the mirror and almost see around the corner. I get it, your eyes are part of this equation, but it's odd as heck to see something in the mirror that is on the same wall as the mirror. When I was really young, maybe 4 or 5, I kept staring at myself in the mirror one time, and I was convinced I turned into a monkey in the mirror world for a split second. Still freaks me out. Spiders. They are great creatures that help balance the number of insects, but they are way too creepy for my liking. Long, spindly legs drop out of nowhere and start squirming in front of my eyes. This surprise factor combined with its many legs aid more than I prefer, makes me hate them. The fact that you can feel when someone is staring at you, especially at night. Human beings. Imagine living in a world as complex beings, knowing you'll never fully understand any other human being, and that you will always technically be alone with that fact. Then consider how any person out there could be the nicest person in the world, or a serial killer. It honestly blows my mind to think about the fact that the people living next door to me have a life that's just as complex as mine. Dying. Not existing. Seeing. Feeling. Smelling. Knowing. Nothing. Just non-existent, never to exist again. Facing an open space in my bed with my back. I can sleep with my back to a wall or a person a foot or two away, but more than that, and I get deeply uncomfortable. Those TikTok trends. I'm way over them, but I'm still scared of that creepy sculpture that MOMO was using. It's just so scary. Had a guy come through my bathroom window when I was showering. I'm a fully grown man. I thought it was one of my brothers or friends ducking with me because we were going fishing shortly. I thought one of them showed up early, so I open up a shower curtain to see some drugged out dude grunting and making like zombie type noises flop onto my floor. But ass naked ran out, held the door shut, and had my girlfriend called the cops. Dude was in the shower when the cops arrived, so now it's hard for me to have the windows open. People suck. Coming up from the basement with a light closed behind me. I'm 36. Kids wiggling their loose teeth. There's a guy I work with who creeps me the duck out. He's overly nice, creepily nice, constantly pouring compliments on you. He gets too close. He likes to sneak up on you and give you a shoulder rub while whispering compliments in your ear. He also has this obviously fake laugh. It's hard to describe, but I call it his I think I'm supposed to laugh now laugh. So he'll laugh at inappropriate times, because he thinks that's what the situation calls for. He also lies a lot. I've caught him out a few times. It's really hard to explain. It's like watching a lizard in a human suit figure out what to do or say, and he often gets it wrong because he's misread the situation. I've made it clear to him and our boss that if he comes near me or my family, I will smash his head through the nearest wall. As a result, he now stays away from me because I see right through him. I'm convinced he is some sort of psychopath or sociopath. I'm not smart enough to know which, but I do know I've seen enough to not want him near me because he creeps me out so much. When I was younger, I was out with parents shopping, and as I went to get in the car, I saw a dark figure sprint past the other window. It scared me, but I brushed it off. Then, as I was getting ready for bed, I saw the same figure rush out of my parents' room and down the stairs. Haven't seen it since. Dead silence. I can't handle silence. I always need some kind of noise in the background. I'd love some 100% silence. Over 15 years of living with tinnitus means I always have noise. It's horrible. When I was in college, I was drugged with some pretty gnarly stuff. was just smoking weed that was knowingly laced with some strong amphetamine. Those guys are arrested. Now, I barely smoked weed. Better yet, hard stuff. And my body didn't know what to do. I called the cops on myself and ended up slipping into a coma for 3 days. Here's a ducked up part. I vividly remember being in a heck-like situation. Myself falling through a black hole with thousands of hands grabbing at me and trying to pull me down. Absolute sheer terror. Ever since then, years later, I still have those same nightmares and have a hard time falling asleep. Bananas. Spiders ducking live in them, bro. Not cool. Hive Mind. I've seen it from my childhood. In school. With pop culture. Politics, religion, especially right now. It really creeps me out. Closing my eyes in public. If I'm in a park on a sunny day, closing my eyes and suddenly hearing the sounds around me is terrifying. At home I'm okay, but outdoors, every sound I can see is anxiety. Those clapping monkeys with the cymbals. I've always hated them, and watching Toy Story at a young age made it even worse. How random human still attraction is. Like a random person can either find another random person extremely attractive or feel nothing at all. There's not rhyme or reason to it. Mirrors at night. I find that glaring at myself is creepy enough, not to mention the possibility of staring into a dark empty gaze. How incredibly gullible the majority of the population is. All it takes is a somewhat charismatic, sociopathic leader to spin some conspiracy theories and everyone will start hunting down and murdering their neighbors. At any point in time, some stranger could be living in your house without you knowing. That our phones listen to our conversations, and if I say something out loud I get Google ads for that thing. Pig farmer with 3,500 pigs. The idea of either getting hurt or passing out in the pens alone sometimes crosses my mind. But the real horror comes from walking across the gantry above the pens in the dead of night without the lights on. I'm 44, and it is the only time I ever get shivers running up my spine. Consider subscribing if you enjoyed this video, and if you want to see more of Reddit Universe.